the banished prince turned hero and firelord, the tormented wizard who changes for love. What do these tales have in common? A developed redemption arc, but in two different ways. What we have to ask ourselves though is, what defines redemption? Is it other characters forgiving them? Is it their actions that prove it? Or is it internal to our character? Whatever the case, redemption arcs have been a hot topic of debate since the beginning as to what defines a redemption and how do we, the writers, create and develop them. Redemption is a powerful thing, and doing it right will make or break the realism of your characters. So what are the ways in which redemption can be developed? For me, I can often divide redemption into three different forms: internal redemption, external redemption, and redemption through trial and error. Of course, there are many other kinds that are more distinctive. These examples are found on the Google Drive, linked below. Let us start with internal redemption. This is the redemption arc that is personal to this character alone. While it could be affecting those around them, it is their opinion of themselves that is the focus of this arc. It could be that their actions led to them feeling that they have let themselves down, or it is their own self-reflection. Either way, this personal element is what develops into redemption. Take Mew-two from Pokemon, for example. Mew-two is a Pokemon created by humans to be the most powerful in the world. However, what led to his need for redemption was his mistreatment caused by humans who experimented, tested, and abused him, which clouded his opinion of people. He did not understand his purpose, and all he had known since his birth was unkindness. So he turned to unkindness and cruelty, but believed that he was, in a sense, saving Pokemon from their human torturers. However, Mew-two progresses over the film, predominantly near the end. Through gaining experience of other Pokemon and their lives, seeing the sacrifice of Ash, he realizes that what happened to him, who he is, and what he does not define him. It is in the finale that Mew-two redeems himself by freeing the captured Pokemon and the trainers, and wipes their memories of this trauma, so they are not scarred by this moment and can live freely. Each moment here, the realization, understanding, freedom, and fixing the mess he created. He redeems himself through his own merit, by changing his fate and proving to himself that
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Every great story in drama forces the protagonist to confront their needs and flaws, and if a character does overcome them, they're complete. The needs, flaws should either be overcome fleetingly, but certainly not until the final act. These internal redemption arcs are important for certain kinds of characters, often those embarking on a personal journey or even a hero's redemption journey. Whether it be that they failed to step up or they took the wrong path, eventually, as they grow and learn throughout the story, they redeem themselves through personal growth and are able to redeem themselves in their own eyes. External redemption is, from what I've observed, often the most popular form of redemption. This is the version that our Darth Vaders and Luke Castellians fall under. Villains or obstacles who, upon their death usually, or after they commit a heroic act, the protagonists and heroes of our story forgive them, giving them their redemption. One of the most controversial examples of this is that of Professor Snape, who was initially perceived as a villain and a bully by the protagonists, proves himself a hero through the power of love. Now, Snape's story follows that of a bullied young boy who joins the Death Eaters out of anger, who later, after hearing a prophecy, confides it in Voldemort, leading to the death of the Potters and the scar on Harry. However, the redeeming element was the double agent nature that Snape takes for the Order, the fact that he was in love with Lily Potter, and that he aimed to redeem himself for causing her death. Now, that alone is a perfectly reasonable and acceptable redemption story. A troubled soul who caused death seeks to right his wrongs. Yet, our perception of his character throughout the series is that of a bully who mocks, puts down, and degrades his students for unknown reasons. The external redemption arc, however, is why Snape's redemption is in fact a redemption. It is Harry's understanding of Snape's reasons, seeing his memories and recognising his actions, that Harry begins to understand, and in turn, forgives him. Thus, his redemption is complete. This arc can often be the most difficult, as often the audience will not agree. What you must remember is, external redemptions are a personal experience to the protagonist alone. Only they can redeem this character, as often their actions affected them. The seeking redeemer must prove themselves to the protagonist that they have changed, or redemption will be out of reach. Internal and external redemptions are two different forms of personal changes. Internal is the redeemer's opinion. External is the protagonist/hero character's decision. However, this final one is a combination of the two. Redemption through trial and error. This is your Edmund Pevensey and your Faith Lahanis. Those who make mistakes, try to be better, fail, but keep trying until eventually they redeem themselves in their eyes and those around them. One example of this can be seen with Xena from Xena Warrior Princess. Xena was first introduced on Hercules the Legendary Journeys as a borderline warlord and villain who sought revenge and inflicted pain where she could. Yet, she changed. She adapted her ways. After Hercules, we got Xena Warrior Princess, a series almost entirely dedicated to explore a redemption arc for her. She sought to change herself, for Gabrielle, the love of a good woman and all that, and to generally do better. She confronted the darkest aspects of herself, faltered on occasion, but never stopped pursuing heroism. Xena's redeeming qualities were consistently inconsistent. Occasionally she reverted, like most humans do, falling back into unkind tendencies. But she continued to prove herself. This form of trial and error redemption, while not the most common, at least for me, is the most impactful. Your character needs a powerful transformational arc to emotionally grip your audience and hold your story together. To show the humanity of a character attempting to change, showing their ups and downs, their missteps and apologies, benefits the story, the character, and those experiencing it. Maybe they'll fall back into old habits, but then work harder to make up to those they failed. Or maybe they reach their goal, but still find themselves struggling to maintain it. And we see and understand this. Whatever the case, showing their humanity through their trials and errors will show the path to their redemption. While redemption arcs can show the change and growth within characters, and in general be a great technique to enhance the story you're telling, Not every character should be redeemed, and not every redemption arc should end with a redemption. For characters like Zuko, a redemption makes sense. He was the abused and damaged prince who was acting on the orders and belief that the Fire Nation was good, and capturing the Avatar was the only way to change his fate. However, his story and his journey taught him that these beliefs were wrong. His trial and error redemption made sense. Then we have Azula, a character who is completely indoctrinated into the way of the Fire Nation, whose psychopathy was fueled by her father to his advantage, and her downfall was a combination of these things working against her. It is much more reasonable for her redemption to not be a redemption, not just because of her experience, but also because of the story that we were told in Avatar about her. While there is the potential, it enhances the story more so to have her not be redeemed, just like Gollum, the Magisterium, and Jean Valjean. Redemption arcs are a fascinating writing tool when it comes to developing a character's story. Whether it be a personal redemption, a given redemption, one gained through trial and error, or one that ends without success, the way you choose to present this redemption is important. If you want to look further into redemption arcs and the techniques you can use to write them, I have linked exercises and exploration videos in the description box down below. However, if you want to keep track of your redemption arc for your characters, then I recommend joining World Anvil. World Anvil is a great resource for writers that helps you keep your story, characters and world building organised in a way that is beneficial for you and easy to use. Write articles to detail and keep track of everything in your world. Want to detail the history of your villain turned good guy? Or how about track the plot of their redemption? Then World Anvil is the place for you. To check out their site and create your account, go to worldanvil.com, links below. In general, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope it helps in your understanding of redemption arcs. If you go to the description box down below, you'll find the information for all of this video, including the craft text that I used. You'll also find the links to my social media, including my Patreon, where on Patreon there are such things as early access, poll involvement and behind the scenes footage available. However, if you can't support me on Patreon, don't worry, I can always do with another subscriber here on YouTube. In general, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.